Welcome to another episode of Simply Nature. We are back again on our very popular cancer series. Every Thursday we have Dr. Jansen.
Hello everyone, hello Sean, glad to be here again, and hello to everyone.
And myself, and we do a lot of Q&A at the end. So for those who are new to us, stay tuned all the way to the end because we have a very broad Ask Me Anything segment. And this is the part where most people ask really every question under the sun, all right? So that's not only about cancer, it can be on any medical questions you may have. We even have listeners who send pictures of their diagnostics to us and ask Doc Jansen and myself to comment, right? So, but today's topic is sarcoma. What is sarcoma? Because cancer is largely split into carcinoma and sarcoma. So some of us might not know what the difference is. So today we're going to talk about the less well-known cancer type, which is sarcoma. So Doc Jansen, what is sarcoma?
Yeah, so you're correct, no? So cancers actually can be classified into two big groups. So you have your carcinomas and you have your sarcomas. So sarcomas is just cancer that came from these specific parts of the body, like your muscle, your bones, your nerves, your blood vessels, and the cartilage, and even fat. Okay? So
that's like leukemia is sarcoma?
No, leukemia is a carcinoma. It's a type of carcinoma.
Okay.
Now, if your myoma becomes cancer, then that becomes a sarcoma.
Wow, but that's rare, right?
That's rare. It's really rare. Okay, sarcomas only comprise of 1% of all diagnosed cancer cases.
So most cancer that we hear of that our listeners probably have is carcinoma.
Carcinoma, yeah.
Which is harder to treat, or is there a difference at all?
The harder one to treat is sarcoma because since it's so rare, there haven't been any big studies done on them. Molecules
so less drugs are developed for them.
Less drugs are developed for these types of cancer. So we tend to use the more traditional or the more conventional modalities, the more conventional treatment modalities, which will go on later. Okay, so going back to carcinoma, to sarcoma. So yeah. It's really rare, 1% of all cancer cases, and it actually tends to occur more in children. Okay?
Wow.
Yeah, because more often than not, sarcomas are actually genetic abnormalities.
So they manifest earlier in
they
your
manifest
life.
earlier
So
in
that
life.
was
Okay?
why in children.
So,
all right.
nevertheless, okay, so what is the survival rate of sarcoma? Yeah, it's worse than carcinoma, definitely, but again, it can be categorized according to stage. Now, if the sarcoma is still localized in an area, it hasn't metastasized, it hasn't spread, then the 5-year survival rate is around 81%. Okay, so it's still good, relatively good if you get it early, or you get it if it's diagnosed early and you get treated early. Now, if it metastasizes or it spreads in the region around it, then the 5-year survival rate goes down to 56%. Now it's 50-50.
50-50, yeah.
Okay, so if it metastasizes to distant parts of the body, like for example, you get leiomyosarcoma or a myoma turned cancer. Okay, if you get that and it metastasizes, let's say for example to the liver or to the brain, then your 5-year survival chance goes down to 15%.
Wow, 15%. I mean, when you reverse that, it means you have an 85% mortality rate.
Yeah.
That's pretty scary.
That's pretty scary. Okay. And overall, if you take the average, it's 65% for in combination. If you combine all of this, it's a 65% 5-year survival rate if you get diagnosed with sarcoma.
But
okay?
Doc, it is really, even though the average is 65%, if we look at by stages, it's very rare that we capture a cancer at a localized state because that means stage 1 or 2, right?
Yeah, that means it's stage 1 or 2. But nevertheless, if it's stage 1 or 2,
then you have a good chance of survival.
Yeah, you have a good chance of survival because for sarcomas, there are certain sarcomas that you can feel immediately.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Like what?
Yeah, for example, if you get muscle cancer, so that is rhabdomyosarcoma. Okay?
Wow, I've honestly very rarely heard of anyone getting muscle cancer.
Muscle cancer. Okay, so I have seen only one when I was an intern in St. Luke's. That's about it. That was the only sarcoma, and the sarcoma that I saw was in a 50-year-old male. Okay, so the tumor actually grew on his thigh.
Oh, so he could definitely feel it.
It was really hard. It's as hard as your knuckle.
Wow.
So
all right.
that
So
one-
don't ignore abnormal growths anywhere in your body. All right.
Okay. So so far right now, when I was an intern, that was one. Currently, I saw another one, but it's a rhabdomyosarcoma again, but it grew in the wrist.
Okay.
So that one you can definitely feel. But if it grows inside your body, like your myosarcoma,
Oh,
your
which is your
leiomyoma,
cyst.
myoma turned cancer, that's going to
Be
be a
hard to
little bit
detect.
more difficult. Okay, a little bit more difficult to detect, especially if you don't feel anything.
But you know, when we look at the data again, here's the important thing that we want to keep stressing again and again, which is you will notice even for a very difficult cancer type like sarcomas, if you catch it early, there's 85%. And if it's carcinomas like breast cancer, colon cancer, prostate cancer, Doc Jansen will tell you, it's like almost 100% cure rate if you can detect it early. So what does this mean? This means that you should develop a healthy, friendly relationship with your doctor, like Doc Jansen, and not be afraid to ask questions or talk to your doctors often, right? Because if you feel a little bit of something wrong and if you catch it early, then you know what? It's totally treatable. But if you wait to the late stages, especially for sarcomas, it's almost like a death sentence.
Yeah.
So do keep listening to us every Thursday, right? You can, Doc, I feel something weird. You want to ask a question,
Yeah, you
right?
wanna ask,
And just ask. Just ask and get yourself knowledgeable. The more knowledgeable you are about your health, the more you can prevent these serious developments.
Okay.
So Doc, before we go to the Ask Me Anything segment, what are the treatments for sarcoma? Is it the same as carcinoma?
It's the same as carcinomas, but we have limited options here. So number one, surgery. Remove the tumor outright. Okay, if it's not there, then it won't spread further. Okay, remove the headquarters of the tumor. Okay, so surgery number one. If you have surgery, then you already have a very good prognosis with this. Number two is chemotherapy. There's still no beating chemotherapy for sarcomas, unfortunately, but it's one of the treatment. It's one of the mainstay treatment modalities. Another one is radiotherapy, so radiation treatment. Okay, so for radiation therapy, you can actually use on some degree, radiation therapy can have the same efficacy as surgery already. Okay? But
because it's localized.
Yeah, because it's localized and you preserve the surrounding areas. Okay, so you only address the tumor itself. But radiation therapy is it's a localized treatment. So if you have regional spread or you have metastasis, then that's going to be a problem. Okay, and next is targeted treatment. Okay, so targeted treatment is like immunotherapy as well. Okay, so those are the the conventional treatment for sarcomas. But of course, I'm sure a lot of you are still afraid, Doc. Chemo again, okay, chemo.
Chemo, even surgery. Many people are afraid of surgery.
Please don't be afraid, okay? So, surgery, our surgical oncologists like Dr. Jimmy are very trained, very good in treating these types of cancers, okay? Very good in their craft, so don't be afraid. Chemo, we already have protocols in order for you to survive or in order for you to finish all your cycles of chemotherapy. So don't be afraid in receiving these types of treatments, because these treatments will be for your benefit, especially if you get diagnosed with this type of cancer. This type of cancer, again, is very aggressive, so the treatment should also be aggressive. Okay?
Doc, I think here I would like to interject because some of our viewers and listeners might be wondering, we want to hear about natural ways of treating cancer. Why are we talking about chemotherapy and surgery? To all the listeners out there, because you already know the natural way of treating cancer, which is to eat a whole food plant-based diet, sleep well, eat well, avoid stress, do exercise, and strengthen your body. I think if you are looking for a miracle pill, like some I don't know, special product from somewhere, all right, that you want us to recommend, then that is like taking a shot in the dark, all right?
I wish I could recommend one, but reality is That's not the way.
Yeah, and if you think that's why you already know the natural way, right? So it's not like strawberries are good for esophagus cancer.
Yeah.
But you know how many strawberries can you take if you have third stage throat cancer, right? You can't be taking one bucket of strawberries a day. It's not going to help you. So this is why we got to help everybody understand, right, that to treat cancer, if your cancer is aggressive, and if you are stage 3 and 4, it's aggressive, right? It's a late stage, it has spread. You've got to take something that's interventional. That means something that really fights your cancer. Are we avoiding the natural? No. That's why you have to go with a consult with Doc Jansen. He will do the natural healing part for your cancer treatment. Now, if you're stage 1, stage 2, then yes, just by, you don't need like some special miracle product, right?
Yeah.
All you need is the lifestyle change that Doc Jansen always talks about. If you're stage 1, breast cancer, colon cancer, with that alone, you can reverse your cancer. And with Simply Nature PBAP protocols, you can definitely reverse your cancer if you're early stage 1. But why we are always talking about chemotherapy and things like surgery is because we are most often than not, if you are a cancer patient, you are usually borderline stage 2, moving on to stage 3, if not stage 3 or stage 4, right? So that's why we want to tackle that topic. So on that, I'm sure I see all the questions coming up. So without further ado, let's move to our Ask Me Anything portion of our show.